Star FM.
Sounding good all the time.
So today on TXO, we are honored to welcome a powerhouse of African storytelling, an international icon who's carried Zimbabwean narratives onto the global stage. She's an award-winning playwright, acclaimed actress, cultural visionary, and the founder of Almasi Arts Trust. Best known for her unforgettable roles in The Walking Dead and Okoye as Okoye in The Black Panther, her films have collectively grossed over $6.9 billion, making her the seventh highest grossing actress of all time. From Broadway to Hollywood, her mission remains rooted in one purpose: to elevate African voices and build platforms for our own stories to thrive. And we're truly privileged to be joined by the phenomenal Danai Gurira, and she's also joined by Tatenda Muchikambizi, an accomplished writer and filmmaker. He's also the writer of a play titled These Humans Are Sick, which will be premiering the Africa Voices Now. And this is the Africa Voices Now Festival. These two incredible talents are joining us to speak about African Voices Now Festival, a festival of new African plays. Danai and Tatenda, welcome to TXO.
Thank you.
Awesome. Really great to have you in the studio this time around. Last time, I was like, I really would like to have an interview with Danai. I'd really like to have her on the show. And it didn't happen, so I was like, sad. And Tatenda, it's really great to have you in the building as well. These humans are sick. What did they do? Tell us later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. African Voices Now marks a major public milestone for Almasi after 13 years of development. What inspired the shift from private training to launching a full public festival?
It was really a journey of time, and I'm the artistic director and co-founder of Almasi Collaborative Arts, and it was a journey of realizing we had to build foundation, we had to bring in skills, and we had to make sure that collaboration was happening, because I live in the United States, I'm a Zimbabwean American, so I wanted to bring the Americans I've really have relationships with now in the arts to Zim and let that transference happen, and also very interested and dedicated and talented Zimbabweans wanting to go over to the United States for their training and opportunities. We wanted to build that type of a collaboration and build up the skill sets. I know with our field, it's like lights, camera, action, let's see it all.
Yeah.
But it really is about, what the process is. And Almasi, probably those who know of our work will know we're all about process.
Yeah.
And rigor, right, Tatenda?
Rigor.
And and so now we're at the time, really, it was a moment where a gentleman who came from the United States end of last year, he's the head of the Public Theater in New York City, and has become a great collaborator with us, Oscar Eustace, where, his theater is where like Hamilton came from and things. So he's really a powerhouse. And he spent 2 weeks with our playwrights, including Tatenda, and he said at the end of Tatenda's reading, he said, Zimbabwe, you are in your golden age of theater.
Yes.
Wow.
And that really motivated us to say, okay, maybe it's time to start putting the work out there. And that's what African Voices Now is. We're putting the work out there. We're still a learning institution. We're still all about the learning.
Absolutely.
And the process.
And
you
the
will
rigor.
see great, and the rigor. That's our word. Don't steal it.
Almasi's mission is bringing the African narrative to the global stage. And in today's evolving world, how do you define an authentically African narrative?
It was actually interesting what Oscar said, because what made us look like we were in our golden age is because we are not trying to talk to the rest of the world. We're talking to each other. And that's really that moment when you actually really double down on who you are as a people and what your complexities are and how you speak and how you think. You're not watering it down. You're not trying to say, let's cater to other cultures and make them feel comfortable. No, this is us dealing with us. And that is really when you become authentic. And that's when actually the irony, that's when people lean in and they become deeply interested in what we're saying. And that's the key. And that's what these plays are now doing. We've done a lot of these playwrights conferences. Tatenda is almost at his hat trick with them. Yep. And we really are about finding playwrights like himself who are boldly and fearlessly speaking from their Zimbabwean perspective to the Zimbabwean perspective and not trying to water it down. Then you're in authenticity.
Tatenda, how did you first get involved with Almasi, and how has their work impacted your career?
Okay, I started my involvement with Almasi started in 2021 when they made a call for playwrights to submit their work, and I did, and I was part of the online festival that is, since we were in the COVID era. So it was an enlightening sort of experience, because this was new to me in the sense that I had been writing for film for maybe 3 or 4 years. I did a couple of short films, but then theater, this was my new experience delving into something that I'd never done before. So Almasi is my education, as far as I can speak about playwriting. My formal education comes from Almasi. So through all those years, I've been learning so much from the guys. The creative process is vigorous. The rigor is in so much of the output that they try to make us do. Like, perfection is the ultimate. So I've learned so much with Almasi.
And for audiences attending Africa Voices now for the first time, what kind of theatrical experience should they expect, emotionally, culturally, and artistically?
They'll find honesty in the work. I think this is our truest work, in the sense that we've been working with these plays for the past year, since last year, December. So they've been in development, and they've been going through a lot of changes, trying to dig deep within our souls and within the well of our creativity to produce something very special. So I think if this playwright festival was like food, I would expect, from the line in my play, I'd expect the audience to be picking their teeth with vanilla flavored toothpicks.
That's a good one. We're live on Instagram and Facebook, so you can go there and check out if you're stuck in the office and you at least want to catch up on the interview. We've got Tatinda and we've got Danai in the building. Now, Tatinda, maybe you can give us a brief rundown of what your play, These Humans Are Sick.
Okay.
Don't tell them too much.
Yeah, don't tell. and maybe a bit of your cast.
Okay. It explores the desire, the human desire to want more, which in the end leads the human being to digging their own hole or grave, so to speak. So the cast is the director is Charmaine Mujeri. I'm sure you know her. And the cast involves Okoye, the legendary, and Dalma Chiwerera, Chinerimbo Chimbetete, and Chiedza Mtabuka, and Ronald Sikeka.
All right.
So it explores how the human being is insatiable in his ambition and desire. And it follows a young man, a hustler from the ghetto, whose name is Tindo, that's all I'll tell you, who is so ambitious and driven to the point of self-destruction in a way. Yeah, I'm not going to give you a lot of things.
You don't want to give us too much
you
information.
Have to come watch the show. No.
Definitely have to go and watch the show. It's Africa Voices now, so you have to actually go out there and watch the play for yourself and get to know more. Now, just delving a little deeper, like 3 debut plays. They explore powerful themes like identity, survival, and belonging. What excites you most about the voices and perspectives emerging from this young generation of playwrights, Danai?
Well, these are quite established playwrights in many ways, and mid-career established playwrights. And what's exciting is it is their fearlessness. We deal with some very powerful things in both Can We Talk, which is by the legendary poet Batsirai Chigama. And I mean, honestly, her journey into becoming a playwright has been very incredible to witness, and we are, it was like her poetry was so beautiful. You could just have it be up there, but she's taken massive leaps into aspects of grief and loss and family secrets and pain and home rituals of our people. It's a stunning piece of work. And then there's also, of course, the wonderful Rudo Mutangagura, whose play is called The Return, which deals with all these amazing aspects of the diaspora, versus being at home, and two sisters really grappling with that in a very crucial evening in their lives. So it really does make me excited, because these stories, I've seen the journey of playwriting in Zimbabwe for the past 15 years or so, and it really, I do agree, we are at a golden time. These stories are rich, they're powerful, they're fearless, they're courageous, they have really resonant themes that are also universal. That's the irony of when you really get authentic. That's when everybody can relate to the stories. So we have Oscar Eustace hoping to come and actually watch the festival and support these plays and see how he can take one or two or more to the United States. So we're looking at that type of level of work now, where it's like, let's take it everywhere. And I think that's what we look for at Almasi. We want our works to be indelible, for the whole world to look at them, read them, study them, recreate them in their countries, because that's how resonant our stories can be and our being. So that's what you'll see. But we also have a festival full of some musical performers, like Hope Masike will be there, and some others, and a chill space, and some good times there. So we're creating a little mini festival, and the start of an annual mini festival. We're biting off a lot, but we're chewing.
That's all you need to do. Bite a little, chew a little as you go.
Yeah.
Now, Almasi has trained artists through mentorship, workshops, and play development. How would you describe Almasi's unique approach to nurturing authentic African voices? Because I see authenticity is key in all the training that is happening there.
Well, the irony is, people think, okay, the American is coming to train, and we've brought in a lot of people who, as I said, who I've worked with in the United States, like Oscar, Lynn Nottage, who I know was very impactful with our playwrights in July. She's a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winning playwright, probably the most decorated playwright in the world. She came. She's an astounding teacher, teaches at Yale, Columbia. And we really look for these. We have these mini docs you can check out on our website, because it's really powerful when you see these interactions. We had Emily Mann, who's a Tony Award-winning director, with our directors just recently in September. Peter Francis James with our actors. So you're seeing an interaction, an intimate interaction, where they really invest in these Zimbabwean artists and see their talent and nurture it. And that's our goal. Like, we see talent, we do seek talent, because, some people are like, I want to be an actor. It's like, okay, but you need that talent part. Sorry. And then we seek it. But when it's there, you really want to nurture it, because the worst thing to me is for someone to have talent and not to have it reach its fullest potential. So that's the goal we have at Almasi, is how do we see their talent and figure out the best ways to help that talent reach its fullest goal and get to its fullest place. Sometimes it's schooling. We've had our Walter Mpurutsa a fellowship, where we've had people like our programs director, Gideon Wavuta, who went to the United States as a result of a collaboration here at Almasi for his master's degree in writing, dramatic writing, at the University of Southern California. And now he's back in Zim leading our programs division. So, he went out, he received, he's pouring back in, and that allows him to know, I know all the rules. This is my one thing I always say: learn all the rules, because Panama rules that we didn't make. Yeah. But we learn them all, so that therefore we know how to break them. You've heard me say that before. I'm an old preacher lady over there.
So this one, I'll hit you with this one, Tatenda. I mean, what would you say is Almasi's core offering? Training opportunity, global exposure, or something deeper about narrative ownership?
Okay. They pour in. They're very serious when they try to give us training, because it's not just a one-time thing. They come back to you and offer you the chances to proceed and work on your craft and become better and better and better. Like for instance, me personally, this year I've been in 3 different workshops and a writing retreat. So it's the process. They understand that there's a process that you have to go through. It's not just talent doesn't work. You have to work extremely hard to get to where you want to get. So it's rigor.
Rigor. That word, rigor.
Yeah, and in the Almasi motto, learning never ends. You have to learn every single day, and they are there to give you the process that you have to go through in mentorship and just friendly advice sometimes, which works at 12 midnight. So writing is it's a lonely craft, and you need people who support you in so many different ways. And Almasi has been doing that for us, and as far as I'm concerned, they are willing to go even far better than they've been doing the last years, and extend to like a lot of other people. So I'm just excited.
Beautiful. So we're talking to Danai Gurira as well as Tatenda Muchikambizi, an accomplished writer and filmmaker, also in the house. And listen, if you don't know Danai Gurira, I don't know what to do with you right now. I don't know. All right. So this festival features works in development. For those unfamiliar, what is a play in development, and why is that stage so important in theater making process?
It's everything. Theater can't be made in isolation. If you see some of the most unsuccessful plays, in my opinion, are plays that were made by a playwright who did not do any development and then directed it themselves. And maybe starred in it too. It's really it's very difficult to make theater in isolation. It really is about people, because a play has to play to an audience.
Yeah.
It has to work for an audience. It has to actually resonate. So a lot of the time, we say this a lot at Almasi, are you accomplishing what you're proposing? And that's really the thing. The proposal can be one thing. We can see what the proposal is, but the accomplishment of it is the process of development. So that involves a lot of 12 midnight note sessions, and it involves a lot of the rigor of our playwrights conference, where we take them for 2 weeks, and we have someone come in like an Oscar Eustace. We work with them very much about what the play is doing, what it's not doing. We have them there doing rewrites every day, every night. They don't get much sleep those 2 weeks, but it's incredible how you see the journey of what they started off with, the proposal, and you see it get to more of what it's meant to be. It's always about, we have to know how to encourage them with their vision. We can't take the vision and make it ours, otherwise the play stops to existing.
True.
It must remain their vision. It's like when Michelangelo was asked about how he made the statue of the David, and he had this very imperfect piece of marble, and they said, how did you do this with that imperfect piece of marble? And he said, I just took away everything that wasn't David. And that's kind of what we're trying to help the playwrights do. We can see their David. How do we help them take away everything that isn't David? And I remember with Tatenda one time, we were doing some note sessions some random time. I think it was April, May, I don't know. It was earlier the year, and it was really like, my job is, how can I say the thing that helps him fly? And I basically told him something like that about releasing any concerns of editing himself as you go. Fly, and then we'll help you get rid of the fat, And so it really is, we have to really be discerning to help them keep their vision and get to it most powerfully, that plays the best it can to an audience.
Now, your motto, Kudzidza Kuperi. Learning never ends, and you've said Almasi is a learning institution.
Yes.
It's guided Almasi for a decade. How has this philosophy shaped the development of the festival and the next generation of African storytellers as well?
I think that is something that it's for everyone, right? Is there ever a time you just stop learning? I mean, honestly, have a teachable spirit, as the good book says. So, it's that aspect of really understanding that we are learning here. There's something about my field where it's all about lights, camera, action. It's all about spectacle. But we're trying to pull that back and say the only time that really gets anywhere is after we've been doing the learning. And I was even saying to the cast and the writers and everyone this week, you're learning as the more interesting performance is when I watch an actor walk on there saying, I'm just gonna focus on learning how to just stay in my voice and connect and listen. And you're watching an actor do that, and their acting gets, of course, much better because they're not just trying to push a performance, they're in process. So Kudzidza is constant, and it's always within those moments, even on stage or while you're learning your lines, or even when you have an accolade or two, you still have to learn. I mean, if I stop learning, I think I'm going to check my pulse.
True.
You've got to stay in that mindset, and then ironically, that's when the best work comes out.
Now, sustainability is a major challenge in the arts. How is Almasi working to remain sustainable while still prioritizing artistic integrity and accessibility.
And that is a transition we're in right now, because we have been, I've been sustaining it, and we've been doing, we've been a smaller operation in the sense of just being a teaching institution with a lot of process work, and we're expanding, and so we have to also open up to the fact that we want to see local people, the local community invest more in the arts. That's the only lovers of the arts and lovers of our culture who want to make it indelible are going to help us actually start to really build a sustainable sector. And this sector of entertainment in Zim can sustain itself, and can bring. I wish we could employ everyone all the time, all year. We have a small core team, but then during festivals like this, we get to employ a lot more people. And so there is a lot of the sustainability is real, and people get to do what they love and be artists.
Absolutely.
And that's a beautiful part of our culture and community and society, and the building up of our own identity. So I would say, please look at it as, let me start looking into the arts if I'm interested in how to continue to build up Zimbabwe, because the arts sector is a viable sector that could be sustainable for many.
Still talking to Tenda Mchikambizi as well as Danai Gurira in the house. We're talking about the arts and writing. This is important. This is big. And the Almasi Arts has been making it happen and being a space where writers and theater is alive and writing is alive. Now, you've worked at the highest levels of global theater and film. In what ways does Zimbabwe storytelling stand out or even challenge global artistic norms?
I mean, there's a play. There's something I saw. Firstly, there's no cap on talent here. I've been watching his play. I've been watching the other plays, and you're seeing a talent level that it's not toppable anywhere else. And then of course when it's purely in its Zimbabwean form and in its authentic form, it is really singular, and that's why I think we're getting more and more interest from people wanting to collaborate, like Oscar Eustace from New York City, who also helped us do our first in residence writers retreat that Tatenda mentioned. It really is about how do we build up and collaborate in a way that brings out the best in people, and brings out the best in their talent. I lost my thread of thought. What was your question? Can I be honest?
How does it even challenge global artistic norms?
Oh, yes. Thank you. It's been, I think I got 2 hours of sleep last night, maybe 3 hours at ZBC at what, 5 in the morning? So yeah, it does, because, I mean, I was watching someone, the other day, and in a play, and it's stunning when you just come in and you've been reading reports and doing a lot of Zoom meetings, but then you come in and you watch it like in process, and you see someone really delving into something very specific to us as a people. I literally heard this person's voice, and I said, I think that's how my ancestors sounded. And I've never had that feeling. But that's going to resonate for anyone across the world.
Yeah.
They're going to feel the resonance of a people and a history and a heritage in that type of performance. And that's thrilling.
That's absolutely thrilling right there. Oh man, if you hear their voice, that's here we get scared. Just so you know. Now, as someone who bridges Zimbabwe at the global stage, how important is it for emerging African artists to remain rooted while reaching the international or reaching for international platforms?
For me, it was just crucial. It was really why I decided to go into this art form. I decided to go into it because I went through a moment where I was trying to figure out, how do I contribute to the world? I love the arts, but do they do enough? I was going through that. And I went to actually South Africa. I was studying in the US for my first degree, and I went to South Africa for a study abroad semester. And there it was late 90s. So I did see a lot of, it was still, apartheid was very much thick in the air. And we met artists who had used their art to fight apartheid. And when you sort of come face to face with people like that, you're like, what's my excuse? I'm free to step into. These guys were doing this at risk. John Kani tells that story, how they were doing Woza Albert, and they knew they were about to be arrested as they did it. It was like they were,
Wow.
And so standing up for, you know, who you are as an African and others. For me, I didn't have any battle to fight like that. I wasn't dealing with apartheid, but I said I want to amplify at least the African voice in the world. I don't think, especially back then, I didn't see enough of our voices from us. Sometimes you'd see a film or something, but it wasn't written by us. It wasn't, you know, but it was on the global stage, but it wasn't from us.
No.
And that really drove me, I will say. It motivated me to start creating. It motivated me how I picked stories, how I wrote stories. It still does. It's still the core passion is we deserve to be heard and amplified on a global level. So let's navigate how we make that happen. And so everything I try to do, it's connected to that in some way, shape, or form.
My last one to you. Looking ahead, what's your long-term vision for Almasi and Africa Voices now? And could we one day see these Zimbabwean plays touring the continent and the world?
Yeah, well, the goal is definitely that. And, you know, the goal is definitely, honestly, you know, I'm the child of educators. I know how much I've been helped through my training processes. I want to create a very sustainable training system for Zimbabwean artists so that if you're talented, you can train right here at home and you can train at the top level. That to me will immediately be a sustainable model for our entertainment industry and for the level we can reach. You know, there's a lot of great ecosystem stuff going on in Zim, far beyond Almasi, around the arts. So we are the collaborative, and that's in our name. We have, you know, we're working right now at the Jason Mepo Little Theater, and God bless him, he's gotten a theater off the ground. That's not easy. And so the idea of creating institutions of the arts and of culture that can be great institutions for the society, for community. You know, they have it in Market Theater in South Africa. They have it, you know, of course, in the U.S. And so, you know, and of course in England. And those are models that I do look to, actually, as a way forward. How do we create that space that serves the community, serves those searching to build their craft, and is an iconic place for African storytelling?
Fantastic. You've heard it all. You can still get to your dream, and you just have to be passionate, and you have to invest in one thing: rigor. Danai Gurira and Tatenda Mshkambizi, thank you so much for joining us and being part of
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
TXO today. And maybe you could tell us what's happening this coming week and where people can actually get to the African Now Voices Festival.
Yes, you can buy your tickets at Magezi online, or you can come to the Jason Mepo Little Theater and check us out. We are there from the 18th of October, which is this Saturday, to the 7th of November, and it is 3 plays in repertory. And this is gonna be it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. You're gonna have a beautiful day of African culture, and you know, it's gonna have a vibe. Check it out, man.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, and we bid goodbye, and we're jumping out of the cafe. So yeah, Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, Almasi Arts is on Instagram. All the information is there.
All right, fantastic.
Check it out. almasiarts.org also.
Let's get out of the cafe.